Duncan walks off the floor, perhaps for the final time.
I hate to say this. Kawhi Leonard wants out of San Antonio.
Leonard fires from the corner. And Leonard goes down again.
This is a San Antonio team that is really headed into a full rebuild.
Well, you just saw the San Antonio Spurs. They were knocked out of playoff contention, which ends a streak of 22 straight years of making the playoffs.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I was born like this, it's born like this. Immaculate conception, nothing was performed like this. Was y'all she one new weapon, not no food. I meditate and pump your beat. This that people against the bed. This that I got loyalty, got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I was born like this, was born like this. Immaculate conception, nothing was performed like this. Was y'all she one new weapon, not no food. I meditate and pump your beat. This that people against the bed. This that I got.
Hey, what's going on, Derek?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you? Man, we got a super fun, exciting show tonight. We have a special guest on us. We're super excited to have them on, talk some NBA and Spurs stuff, and then we're going to me and Derek are going to act like we are GMs of all these teams, thinking we're picking all these players. Hopefully, we make the right choices. So yeah,
appreciate it, Brandon.
I appreciate it, Brandon.
Yeah, we're fixing to change franchises, man. We're fixing to have Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, hopefully. So let's run our sponsor, and then we're gonna get our guest in here. We're like I said, we're super excited to have them on and talk with us, and then we'll get going. Rob, AJ, how are y'all, man?
Doing pretty awesome, and that intro fired me up. So hey,
there you go.
Definitely appreciate you.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to get people pumped up about. We're trying to convert as many people to be San Antonio fans in the near future. So that's the goal here.
That's not too hard to do.
I mean, no, it's not. I think we'll talk about that here in a minute. But guys, real quick, I want y'all to kind of talk about y'all's podcast here. I'm going to put something up I created for y'all to help people kind of help follow y'all. Kind of explain what y'all do and kind of what y'all's podcast is about.
Yeah, so we are the Baseline Bums podcast. This is the third Spurs season that we have covered primarily Spurs related basketball topics, and this really just started because a few years ago I started posting on TikTok, and a lot of people started resonating with my basketball takes, and the Baseline Bums kind of spawned from that. And, you know, I bring in guys like AJ, who I know has been watching the Spurs for decades, and a lot of other guys I know that have some really great basketball minds. And then, you know, we form a podcast, and now we're, you know, we got picked up by Love You Hard TV. Shout out Love You Hard TV. and it's going really well. And so it's really a joy to be able to talk this much Spurs basketball on the regular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah,
And
go ahead,
when-
AJ. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Whenever Rob, we were at a wedding together with actually James's wedding, and Rob pulled me aside and he was like, "We should do a basketball podcast." And I was like, "That's a great idea. Whatever it takes, let's do it." And then 2 weeks later, I thought he was joking. I thought I was like, "Ha ha ha." Rob wants to do a podcast, okay? And then 2 weeks later, he calls me. He's like, "Hey man, I got a mic. Come down to Austin. Let's record." And I was like, "Oh, we're doing this. Okay, cool." so it was just one of those like awesome moments. And then I've known Rob for probably more than half my life here. So to talk sports and talk basketball, especially the Spurs, with one of your best friends is a great honor. So it's been fantastic ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah. So people, everyone watching, please follow these guys. They're on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, X, and YouTube. And if I miss anything, please mention it. But yeah, well, guys, again, we appreciate y'all coming on with us. Me and Derrick, kind of a little backstory about us is when was it? It was probably back in August of last year. I actually wasn't an original on the podcast, to be honest with you. Derrick and a buddy of ours, Josh, started it. And it was during football season. And he told me about it. And I was like, man, I was kind of bummed because me and my brother, he's a big San Antonio Spurs fan as well. We were always wanted to do a podcast. We always talked about it, but it never really came into anything. And then like Derrick invited me to come on one time as a guest. And then I was like, Derrick, what do y'all think about me joining y'all? Because I love talking sports, like all sports, but especially basketball. Me and Derrick are big basketball. That's like our main. It's basketball for us. And it just went off from there. And I came on, and it just worked out perfect. Hold on, yeah, what's going on?
What's up, Coach?
Yeah, what's going on? So that's kind of how we started, and then unfortunately, Josh had he couldn't do it no more. So me and Derrick was like, let's just keep it going, and it's been fun, man. I mean, we've had so many people on, D1 recruits, top of the nation.
It's awesome.
So we've been growing, man. We try really hard. So let's I
want to kind of start with something here. You said something and it kind of intrigued me. You said that people like y'all's takes. People enjoy your takes on sports. So we do a poll every week, or every episode we try to do a poll, and it's normally player versus player. I mean, we've had we went Ray Allen versus
Vince Carter or something like that.
No, Manu. Ray versus Manu.
Yeah.
And but this week's was different. It's a coach, and it's a simple question. Overrated as a head basketball coach. He was 85-15. Yes, he's an overrated head basketball coach. What is your guys' take on that?
Wait, who are we saying is overrated?
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
Oh yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he's definitely the most overrated coach. He's been riding that 08 wave for way too long.
That's exactly my thoughts, man. I mean, he was great with 4 Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah,
then he
fumbled the bag. He fumbled the bag when he was at LA. I mean, he had a really great team, and he had the talent all around him, a really, really well constructed roster, and a lot of it came down to his rotations. A lot of it came down to his substitutions, and those head scratching moments were because of Doc Rivers. And just because several years has gone by, I'm not going to forget it.
Right?
No. Yeah,
exactly.
No, I mean,
I 100% agree.
Those LA teams were nasty. He had, like y'all said, he had the roster.
Oh yeah.
He just struggled. He always struggled. I mean, when you look back at that team, you're like, how did they not win one? Not multiple. How did they not just win one? And he can never. And look what he's done after that. What did he do in Philly? Nothing.
They're struggling this year in Milwaukee.
Well, and then Milwaukee, he has potentially one of the best in the game still in Giannis. Mm-hmm. And then you have Dame Lillard. And look what happened last night. Can't do nothing against – Indiana's a good team. They play team basketball. That's why they're beating them, because there's only 2 of them. Yeah. And I think his rotations are terrible with Milwaukee. Like,
Yes.
how is Bobby Portis not getting more than 14 minutes a game? He's like the energy of the team.
Oh yeah, and it showed last game. He absolutely
The Middleton trade killed that team. You asked Kuzma to be your number 3. He's not a number 3. I mean, I'm sorry. Give me Middleton all day.
I would say the Drew Holiday killed that team too.
Drew Holiday,
because that really took away their defensive stopper. And just now you look at him and they just don't have anybody. I mean, Dame Lillard's great, and we love Dame Lillard. He has Dame time, but he hasn't really been the same player for a few years now. Yeah, and for even this last few years in Portland, it was weird to see that trade and to see Drew go on and be successful with the Celtics, and you're just like, what's going on here? So it was odd. I don't know if Doc Rivers just doesn't have the how can I say this? The spine to kind of push back on some of the upper management, and maybe that's why he hadn't been as successful as he has, I guess, in past years. So we'll see, but I don't think he makes it out of Milwaukee at the end of the season.
I think if they lose in first round, I think Giannis is out. I think Giannis asks to be traded, and I think somebody, New York or Houston, somebody like that, will make a push for him. Even though I don't think Houston needs him. I mean, Houston's a 2 seed in the West right now. So obviously they're doing pretty good. Dame, to me, I love Dame. I've always been a Dame fan, but he's a volume guy. Yeah, he can get hot and go 11 for 18, but then also he can get cold and he's gonna try to shoot himself out of it, and he'll be 11 for 37. I mean, he's volume shots, big numbers.
Yeah, there's really no proof that says that he can contribute to a contending team. Like a lot of his stats are, they look really, really great on paper, but I want to see him impacting a team that's looking like they're going to have a late postseason run.
Yeah, and I really think, and I feel this way about it, but I feel like he wasn't ready to come back. He just had a blood clot in his leg.
Yeah,
look what happened. Look what happened to Chris Bosh. He never came back from it. Look what's going on with Wemby. It's in his shoulder. He didn't even play the rest of the season.
Right.
It's in his leg. He's been out, maybe a month or two, and he's already playing. And you see last night, like, he's very winded. Not very good.
Oh, yeah.
He just didn't play good last night. Giannis, again, it was Giannis versus the Pacers once again, 2 games in a row. They're going to get swept. Maybe they win one in Milwaukee, but they're not going to win the series. And, I mean, they don't have the team. They have one player and a coach that's not very well, or isn't as good as he used to be. Not that he really was ever that good. I mean, his best years was in the Celtics, Doc Rivers, and we're kind of going back to that. His best years was when he was with the Celtics. And I mean, again, he had a team. If he didn't win one with them, I mean, I don't know. But,
right. I mean, but even if we're getting prime Doc Rivers, he's still going to get out coached by Rick Carlisle, and that's a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals and recently with this exact squad, and this is not a team that is shy away from the playoffs, and especially this matchup. We've seen them go at each other in the in-season tournament. The regular season games have been chippy as well. So this is definitely, 2 teams going at it, but the Bucks just don't have it. The Bucks don't have the firepower.
So what are y'all's? I want to ask AJ and Rob, y'all, what are y'all thoughts on the playoffs so far? Maybe some surprising teams, maybe kind of going as you expected. What are y'all thoughts so far? I mean, we're only in games 2s, 3s going in. What is y'all's thoughts on the playoffs?
I'm going to coin the 2025 playoffs as the play flops, because we've seen so many flops, and even we got LeBron James last night doing the peekaboo, and so that's kind of what I've seen, and it's been entertaining for sure, but it's also been just a lot of just flopping, man. I mean, play the game, and it's only going to get more chippy, and the NBA just needs to find a way to address it. Either stop calling those, I guess, fouls that, the stops or the throw your body into them. Like, just stop calling those altogether, because it's getting a little ridiculous, to be honest with you.
It has. Like, every time someone shoots the ball or goes up for, you can say a pump fake, and they go for the pump fake, they're just going into it, and it's an automatic foul every time. Yeah. I mean, James Harden's one of the best at it. He still does it, but everyone's doing it now.
I firmly believe if you want to get rid of flopping, I think you have to make it like a severe thing. And not when I say severe, I don't mean season-long suspension. But if you flop, go to the replay. You flop, boom, you're done for the game.
That's not a bad idea.
Start getting into their money. Start getting into okay, I played a quarter and now I'm out of the game. Because especially when you get in the playoffs or late in the season and you need to win games to make it, you don't want to kind of toe that line to maybe I did flop, maybe I didn't flop. Like just play.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. If there's
Yeah.
if there's a technical foul on the line or a big fine, it's like, you'll
Something.
think twice. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we talked about this on the last show, and I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on it. Me and Derrick were talking. I'm pretty sure everyone's, even maybe y'all have said this on y'all's stuff, but we were just talking the other night. We needed to keep the conferences, but do away with the 8 and the 8. Make it the best 16 teams. Like, I understand it's going to favor the West, but then the East, you just need to get better. Whatever you need to do to get better, whatever it is, because the first and second seed games are absolutely boring. They're boring
Right.
games. Could you imagine the OKC playing let's just say the Timberwolves in the first round because of where they are? That's a more interesting matchup than them playing the Memphis, which we all know they're going to sweep Memphis. They won by 51 points, and Memphis is over there laughing on the bench like they don't even care that they lost. Like, I want more interesting matchups from the first playoff game until the finals. That's just me. Like, I want it to be interesting. It's almost like the NCAA tournament. Game 1 is interesting no matter what the matchup is. It's a fun. Everyone's watching every game because a 15 seed can beat a number 2 seed. In the NBA, with the West being as good as it is, them playing someone in the bottom of the West, I mean, yeah, it's more competitive, but they're not going to do much. And then the East, the bottom half is even worse. Like, the Magic aren't going to beat the Celtics. They're not going to get a game in. Like, I don't know. That's just our thoughts on it. We were thinking, like, let's just take away that and let's just make the best 16 teams make the playoffs. Regardless of you're the East or the West, the best 16 teams should get in.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes all the sense in the world. I mean, are you trying to be fair to the East, or are you trying to put the best product out on the court? And I think that if you're trying to get eyes on it and you want competitive games, let's get the best teams in there. It doesn't matter if 11 of those teams are from the West. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's just have competitive basketball.
Exactly.
You'll get a better product that way. Yeah, get rid of the play-in, and you'll have a better product
that too.
if you have the best 16 versus 11 that are great teams and 5 that are subpar teams. Nobody's your audience, unless you're a fan of Oklahoma City or a fan of Memphis, you're not really going to watch that game. I mean, like Dustin said on our show Sunday night, we turned it off by the first quarter. I mean, it was over with. I didn't want to watch it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that too. And I mean, we're talking about the top 16 teams right now. It's 20 teams that make the playoffs. It's 20 teams. That's insane. Like that's more than half of the league, and that's ridiculous to have that many. And I get it; it's a money grab, but at the same time, give those teams like a little bit of rest time. Like, just go back to the original format. The play-in was basically invented because NCAA March Madness took over and the NBA wanted to capitalize on more bracket stuff. That's essentially what happened. And so we need to get back to what the original was. I like your idea of making the top 16 teams. Hell, I would even do relegation promotion. I'm a huge soccer fan, and I would love to see that more often because I think that would also incentivize some teams to play a little harder, because the last, maybe month of the season, I would say, like, a lot of those teams are just tanking, and it's just not fun basketball to watch.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some teams tank from game 1. I mean, I'm just being real. Like, you think Utah and Washington come into the season thinking they were going to make the playoffs? No, they knew they weren't. I mean, they had some nice young players, but they weren't making the playoffs. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The playoffs have been so weird. I mean, I want to go back to that. I want to get back to the interesting, fun games from the jump, not wait till the second, even sometimes third, the conference finals get interesting games.
So we talk about boring games and stuff not being really entertaining anymore. What are your guys' take on the All-Star game? I have a theory that I think would make it more interesting, but I want to hear your guys' first.
Well, there's just too much gimmick attached to the weekend. It was like, I mean, it's hard to remember all the bullshit, excuse my language, that was attached to the weekend. But like, I remember just like, we were bogged down by like TNT tribute videos and like Mr. Beast challenges. And I'm like, why is all of this stuff on what is essentially a sacred basketball weekend? Like, why are we tainting and bogging down this weekend with things that are not even basketball related? And it was more about Kia and Ruffles than it was about anything that was happening on the court. So I think we need to reshift focus, not make it so brand oriented, and try to make it a little bit competitive. I don't know, maybe throw a one-on-one tournament out there to see if we can get people actually sweating a little bit on All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no,
what about you, AJ?
I agree with Rob 100%. And this, talking about this past All-Star weekend, I was salty Saturday night because Steph Castle should have won the dunk contest. I don't care who you are. Whenever he put the ball through the hoop and then between the legs and dunked it, like, you can't tell me that's not a 50. And he got, I think, like a 49. I'm like, what are we doing here? And so, like, from basically the start to the finish, honestly, the most entertaining game is a celebrity game on Fridays because it has some fun gimmicks, but then you're like, oh man, that dude could hoop. So, for me, like, I enjoyed the premise of the All-Star game, but it has become just very gimmicky, like Rob was saying, and I don't know what really you can do to fix it, because these players are still, like, even if we do European versus USA or we try to switch it up a little bit, I still don't think the players will be competitive enough unless you incentivize them drastically. Like, put $1 million per player prize on the line or something bigger, or I mean, just something to get like kind of the juices flowing, because until then, it, like, pride only goes so far, and I think we left pride back in the 2000s. Honestly, I really do. I think we heard it. I don't know if you guys heard this clip today. Well, what's it called? Jeremy Lamb was talking about Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin was like, I was missing shots because I didn't want to play in the All-Star game.
That's right.
Like,
I saw that.
Like, what are you doing? Like, I want my me time. Okay, that's cool, but dude, Kevin Martin was a hooper.
Don't miss your shot.
Like, I don't understand. Like, that, I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
So my thought was, and this is for all of All-Star weekend. On Friday night, you have the rising stars, the rookies versus the sophomores. On Saturday night, you have the 3-point contest, the dunk contest. And on Sunday, you have the All-Star game. Go back to East versus West.
Yep.
You have to be a top 6 seed at the time of the All-Star break to be an All-Star. Okay? The winning team gets home court advantage in the NBA Finals. Regardless the seed, regardless anything. Have them play for something, like you said, and throw a $500,000 purse per player up there or whatever. But have them play for something, because the LaMelo Ball being a 14th seed making the All-Star game, I mean, he has nothing to do with the playoffs. He has nothing to do with anything. Why is he an All-Star? Yeah, he might be the best player on his team, but as far as league-wide, he is not an all-star in the league. So make it mean something in the game. And I think the same way, NFL-wise, you got the Titans and the Browns. They kind of tanked at the end of the season. Don't just automatically let the Titans get the first pick. And get rid of the Pro Bowl. Titans and Browns play. Winner gets first pick.
There you go.
I mean, all this tanking and all this stuff, make them want to play. Make them want to come out and put on a show for the people that maybe save their money to come to the game. Maybe, I get to go to Dallas and watch all of my favorite players play because I'm 2 hours from there, but then they want to shoot half-court shots. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see 75-foot three-pointers because it's cool. Like, play ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I am going to push back a little on you, Derek, because the MLB tried to do that home field advantage thing for the All-Star game, and it lasted for a little bit, but then they did away with it. And for me, that would be a little harsh for a team that, let's say like the Celtics, right? A team like the Celtics or the Thunder, like, let's use them as examples. And if those teams, like those All-Stars, lost, and we're not going to get the Thunder as home courts or the Celtics as home court, then fighting for that number one spot is I wouldn't say it's meaningless. It just doesn't mean as much anymore.
But who's to say they're going to make it to the finals as the 1 seed? I mean, anybody. That was my only take on that. Is you're not a lock to make it to the finals. So what if, say, the 8th seed Memphis makes a run, to the finals, and the West wins it? Now they're looking good now, right? But now if the East wins it and the 8th seed makes it, then it doesn't matter. It's a wash because they're not going to, get home court anyway.
I would love the finals just to be in Vegas, to be honest with you.
and
you know what?
And we've talked about that.
Making a central location. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Like, don't favor one team. Like,
I think the only thing that hurts that is it could go 7 games. As we're like the Super Bowl, there's going to be a winner on Sunday.
Yeah.
With the, I'd hate to buy a ticket for game 1, then have to fly back or game 6, and all of a sudden now it's a game 7, and I'm flying back to Texas instead of being there for game 7. That would suck.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of different ways they can do it. Like, I just want to. I think when it comes down to it, they just need to make it, whatever they do, make it worth. Like, make teams fight for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already hard enough. We don't get defense that much in the regular season. We get a little bit better defense in the playoffs because it's more meaningful. But, I mean, there's no defense in the All-Star game anyways. Like, it's zero defense. You're throwing up shots for how many ever minutes you play now. And it's whatever. But, like, I agree with the whole making it more incentivized. Like, make it mean something to win the All-Star game or to even make it to the All-Star game, not just, hey, you're the best player on your team, you make it. Like, I agree with that to an extent, but, like, what does it, like Derrick said, what does it do for LaMelo Ball to make it? Like, it doesn't do nothing for him except give him an accolade on the books. That's all it does. You know what I mean?
It helps contract situation. I mean,
absolutely.
Right.
That's really
there are a lot of bonuses are tied to all-star appearances and things like that. So, so I mean, it does help things financially, depending on what kind of contract you have. But yeah, I agree. It's hard to say, hey, were you really affecting meaningful basketball if your team is towards the bottom of your conference? I mean, or are you just putting up a bunch of empty stats?
Yes,
exactly. And even now, the All-Star game or the All-Star selection, it's all fan-based. We know that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they put out. I mean, it's all everyone's favorite player. Now, there's some of them that are well-deserving of it, but, like, there's some of them you're like, like, should they have really made it? No, they didn't because they were just voted in.
Right.
So,
in that same lane, are you saying that Wembanyama didn't deserve to be an all-star this year?
Oh, he definitely did. I mean, I'm not saying that because he was the best player.
I mean, we got to call a spade a spade. If we're talking about doing that, and saying, hey, if you're a team towards the bottom of your conference, even though you're leading the league in blocks per game, 20 and 10, it's like
that's right. Yeah. I mean, if they're not a top 6 seed, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, he was an all-star. I mean, it's hard to talk about that because that's our guy. Like that's our guy now. So it's hard to say, well, man, he's not an all-star because he wasn't top 6 seed. But if that's the way they go, I mean, that's the way the cards play. But I mean, like I said, they're not playing hard anyways. I mean, the All-Star weekend is just for glitz and glamour and cameras and actions, and I mean, that's all it is. I mean,
I hate the draft. They have a whole episode for the freaking draft. It's so I cannot stand it. Like,
yeah, and also if you're in the locker room and you're like, I'm the last pick as an all-star, and I'm averaging 25 and 10 or whatever, like, what are we doing? And then you have to look at that captain in the face, being LeBron James or Kevin Durant or whoever, and just like, you picked me last, like,
yeah,
all right, cool,
was
man.
it 2 years ago when Denver won it? Right, Boston won it last year. Denver won it the year before. That's when Joker was picked last in the All-Star game. Like, the best player in the freaking world is picked last in the All-Star game. Like, come on now. Like, come on now.
It's like, I think it's real more of like fans, and then like fans that get you to get voted, and then when it comes to actually picking, it's like, hey, who do I want to play with this year? That's kind of what it comes. Who do I want to team up and play with a little?
It's pretty much NBA free agency. Because that's all it is. Who do I want to play with this year? Who do I want to get traded for and bring in and then not make the playoffs and blame them?
Yep, exactly. Well, guys, let's talk about some Spurs stuff. Obviously, we're in the off season. The season went better than it did last year. Of course, I think they got better. Obviously, the the injury or the health scare with Wemby shut him down. And then, of course, not too long after that, they shut down Fox. What are y'all's thoughts on their season this year?
Well, I mean, I think overall you got to look at the season as a positive. We won 12 more games than we did the season before. But I think, and we've said it on episodes of the Baseline Bums podcast, it was just a sudden shift of expectations. It was, hey, we may flirt with the play-in, maybe even make the playoffs, depending on how well De'Aaron Fox acclimates. And then all of a sudden it was Wemby, deep vein thrombosis, De'Aaron Fox needs hand surgery. And even before that, it was Coach Pop. We lost Coach Pop on November 2nd because of a stroke. And it was just like major thing after major thing. Yep. So it was really hard to get our bearings this year at all. So the fact that we were able to improve as much as we did in a tumultuous season, I think that it speaks volumes for where we're headed.
Yeah. For me, I think it basically shows how much veterans mean to a team. And I think whenever you have veterans like Harrison Barnes, like Chris Paul, guys that can come in and just basically coach some of these guys up, especially, I mean, Mitch Johnson did a decent job. Like, I didn't like a lot of his rotations. We were very critical at times, but to have those guys really helped his coaching and helping with kind of getting people in the right place. So I think overall it was a success. Before Wemby went down, I was talking about it on the podcast too. I was like, does it seem like Wemby's getting very winded very quickly nowadays? And it was definitely a few weeks before it happened. And overall, we got to look at the positives, right? Like, Wemby was an all-star. He led the league in blocks and didn't play most of the season. And, we made some really good headway with what we got. We made a big trade and got De'Aaron Fox, which I think
nothing.
Yeah, for nothing.
For nothing.
And I was driving down to Austin, I think it was. And when I got that notification, I called Rob immediately and I was like, "Did you just see that?" And we were freaking out. We're we're gonna make the playoffs. And then 2 weeks later, our hopes and dreams were shattered. So but I will say, I do think Wemby and Fox next year will both be all-stars. And I think we're gonna be I don't think we'll be in a play-in game. I think we might be in the 5, 6, somewhere in there. That would be my prediction for next season. And I do think we're going to make another big trade. And I do think we will try to get some better draft capital too. So we'll see.
And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. We've been doing a lot of talking about that big time. But yeah.
So we bring up Pop kind of going out. What do y'all see as far as coaching wise for the Spurs next year? Any hopes and dreams?
Rob, say it.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of good options, but I've been floating around this name for the last few years now, and I've been super high on him ever since they coached together in the Tokyo Olympics, and that's Jay Wright. Jay Wright, former coach
Derrick,
of
you said
Villanova.
Nice.
I think that he's an excellent guy. He knows how to mold young players, and that's exactly what our team is comprised of, is a lot of really talented young guys that are 23 and younger. And those are the guys that Jay Wright knows how to communicate with, and he knows how to build a team the right way, and he knows how to play big time games. His rotations make sense, and he's a player's coach. And I think that's exactly the kind of coach that the Spurs need in this kind of era.
Agreed.
I would say, get someone who just got let go, like Mike Malone. But I also love Jay Wright. I would love Jay Wright to be a coach.
Yes.
But I would also want someone that is going to have kind of the same tenure as Coach Pop. I know Jay Wright's a little up there in age, and I know Mike Malone's a little younger, but I would love someone to be here for, 10 years kind of thing. And then we'll see kind of what happens after that. I personally, I'm a huge homer and I'm a huge fan. So I would love to see Manu be the head coach and Tony be the assistant coach, and would be Jimmy awesome. Be the trainer, and Matt Bonner's in the mix somewhere too. So I would just love to see something like that. But that's just the fan in me. And honestly, whoever can get the most out of Wemby, and whoever can get the most out of De'Aaron Fox, and whoever can keep this core together and really show what we all been waiting for essentially for the past 4 to 5 years, I think that needs to be the guy. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's Mitch Johnson, and if it is, he has a lot of growing to do.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I like Mitch Johnson as a young and upcoming coach, maybe not necessarily a head coach yet. I mean, I thought with you can say he coached the whole year, essentially, and most of the 75, 80, 85% of the season. I think the rotations were his problem, but I mean, again, you got to think he kind of got thrown into it. You know, I thought there was a coach or two on that staff that could have been a better coach than him. But maybe there was something behind it. Maybe the other ones like, no, I don't want that. I came here to be this type of coach. So maybe there was something behind that. But I want to throw y'all a name that Derrick already knows what I'm going to say.
But before he says it, one, I absolutely love the Jay Wright. Jay Wright is an absolute amazing basketball coach. As soon as Mike Malone got let go, I told Dustin, I said, maybe Mike Malone. This name he's fixing to throw at you guys has a preference with it. Pop has to be on the bench.
Somewhere.
We'll he either has to be directly sitting behind this coach or right next to it to ease the transition because it is a barrier-breaking hire.
All right, Dustin, let's hear it.
Are y'all ready? Becky Hammond.
Oh, yeah.
I don't hate
Changed
it.
the game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. For one, her and Pop are like this.
Yep.
Okay. She knows the system very well. She coached the summer league for all those years, and it was Pop's second-hand woman, technically. The players listen to her. Look at the development of all these young players we currently have that have been there while she was there. She did well with them for the summer league stuff. Obviously, they were rookies, so I mean, they were rookies. I think they would listen to her. It would be a change it would change the NBA forever. An NBA, this is my future thoughts on it. I think Becky Hammond with Pop again sitting behind, molding her into this potential head coaching role. I think she could be the first head coach to win a WNBA championship and an NBA championship, and that would be something that will never happen. I think she's one that can do it because I think they would listen to her. She knows the game. I know she played women's ball, but again, she played for the Spurs when they're the Aces now. I think it would be something to intrigue, but I do like the Mike Malone. I love the Mike Malone. I love the Jay Wright. You can't go wrong. I hope the thing is getting her away from the Aces.
That's going to be
what she's done over there. Exactly. That would be the toughest part to do is to get her to leave the Aces to come to the NBA. But I think if any team could do it, it would be the Spurs, and that's because of the background and the history of it. But I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love for it to happen because I feel like she's a Spur. Like she fits that mold of a Spur coach. But there will be some growing in it, of course. You're going from you were coaching the NBA, Pop told her to go take that. Pop told her, you're taking that. You're not why would you stay here where you're being an opportunity to go coach and look, she won back-to-back titles. But I think that I don't want them to stay from within, but that's what the Spurs would probably. That seems like a Spurs thing to do. Stay within the system, right? Like hire someone that's been there. Like Brent Brown is there. Like that's who I really wanted to be instead of Mitch Brown because he's been on that staff before.
Yep.
Left to go to the 76ers and then he came back. I don't know. I love the Becky Hammond thing. When we really heard that he was going to be out, I was like, he's done. Not because he wants to be, his body's going to tell him he's done. And then he just had another scare recently, just last week. I don't even know. The thing about me is like with the Becky Hammond thing, I don't know if he even want to do the second fiddle because I don't think his body and his health is going to allow him to. Because I don't think she could come in and be the head coach and not have Pop sitting behind her. I don't think she's ready for that.
I honestly don't think we'll see Pop in a Spurs arena anytime soon. I agree. I don't think him coming out and waving to the fans is really going to do much. I don't know if he wants the public to see him in a weaker state. Let's call a spade. And I do like the Becky Hammond thing. It would just be really tough to do because their season is starting in like 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Right.
They just had the draft and it would have to like line up to where she's going to take that leap or whatever on her own. So it'd be tricky from a time wise perspective.
Correct. Yeah. Right.
But and also it's really how can you leave Asia Wilson, man? Like that girl,
I know.
She's so good. But
it's like leaving Asia for Wemby and Fox. That's kind of
that's fair. Yeah. That is fair.
That's kind of hard. That's kind of hard not to do. But the timing it makes it hard.
Yeah.
Because like right around when that WNBA season ending, the NBA is kind of starting to kick off again. So there's not much of a transition for her. So for that reason, I would have thought it would have already happened if it was going to happen to kind of get her into the off season and so forth, draft, everything. Right. But with that being said, I love the Mike Malone. I love the Jay Wright. I even mentioned, who did I mention? I always forget his name. He coached the Warriors for a while.
Mark Jackson.
I like Mark Jackson. I feel like he's been snubbed a lot.
Yeah.
I thought he built that Warriors team, and then it got handed to Steve Kerr in a sense. I know Steve Kerr is a fantastic coach, obviously ex-Spurs player. Yeah, I don't knock him, but that's a coach that I've maybe, but I don't know if he fits the Spurs mold. Right.
Well,
the Spurs haven't changed. Like the Spurs are still the Spurs, except they shoot more threes because that's the way the game is now. But 10 years ago, they weren't shooting threes all the time. They were passing the ball 50 times before they scored. They don't do that a ton anymore, and I hate that because that's the style of basketball I like to watch. I like the 20 passes and get either an easy bucket or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think, again, I agree. I don't think Pop comes back, but I really hope that they really think about the right coach for this young group because we are so young.
I know that our counterparts at Love You Hard in the building, Mike Taylor and Rudy J, shout out to them. Mike Taylor has a wild take, and it's, we don't see it very often, but it does happen where we trade for a coach and we get Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr comes to the Spurs, and I mean, we're talking like, that's such a Hail Mary situation.
That's a wild take.
But it's not terrible. It's really not terrible.
I got a question for y'all then, or for you, AJ, because you mentioned it. Who are you trading for Steve Kerr? I mean, if that's your guy.
If Senor Fleece, Mr. Brian Wright, is the magician that he is, I would say like a 2042 second round draft pick kind of guy. Like, I honestly, this guy, we coined the name Senor Fleece because every trade that he's made as GM, we have egregiously became way better, and just the scale was so much into our favor that, I mean, the De'Aaron Fox is a perfect situation of who we gave up. And I mean, just the things that he's done just as a GM have been amazing. I know people have their own gripes with him here and there, but you can't deny what he's done. So what would it take? I don't know, maybe a player or two, and maybe some cash, maybe a buyout or something, but it's a wild take, like Rob said, but it's not out of the question.
So that's a perfect transition to kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about also, but the trades, the getting better. I'm going to throw a scenario at you guys, and you just tell me what you think. I don't know what I'm not even sure what Dustin would think about this. I guess I'll be asking all three of you guys. After the draft lottery, say the Spurs land number 6 and number 11 in the draft. Would you call up Boston and say, here's 6 and 11. You can take XYZ as long as it's not Fox, Castle, or Wemby, and we want Jaylen Brown.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
I don't know if Boston does that.
I don't know if Boston does that either. I'm saying, like, if say Boston doesn't repeat and they're in a cap crunch with Porzingis and Brown and Drew Holiday, and I mean they're in
Al Horford. Al
Horford. So if they answered that phone, would y'all make that trade? Would Brown, Fox, Wemby, kind of big three? Do you like that?
I don't know. I mean, I like it, but something about me doesn't love it because I want to surround Wemby with more shooting. And obviously, I like Jaylen Brown. He's a good slasher. He gets to the rim well. Obviously, an amazing athlete, but I think there's going to be a lot of collapsing on Wemby, whether it's at the high post or in the paint. And I want guys that he can just look out. Oh, he's in the corner. Oh, he's in the free throw line extended. He can kick, and they're hitting a wide open three. And I don't know if Jaylen Brown is really that guy because moving forward, this is about who we can surround next to Wemby to be
100%.
successful. And I love Jaylen Brown's skill set, but I don't necessarily know if he fits from a plug and play perspective.
What about Devin Booker?
See, Devin Booker, that's a little bit more tantalizing because I think that he could play off ball really well. A guy that would really just could be catch and shoot, chill in the corner. De'Aaron Fox gets him the ball. Wemby collapsed on. Yeah, I could see that working well.
I just don't like their contracts. I don't like
the money wise.
Money wise, it's so much money, and the Spurs have never been the organization to shell out money. I mean, you go look at the stats of when Tim Duncan was at his peak, he wasn't even in the top 5. Like that's wild to think about. And I don't see the Spurs really paying that much money, especially with Jaylen Brown's contract, because that thing's outrageous. Devin Booker's contract is absolutely outrageous as well. So those would be such high numbers. I'd rather go after a guy similar to what Rob was saying, like just a catch and shoot kind of guy, or someone that can go get you some buckets. And Anthony Simmons, for me, I know he can't play great defense, but I would love him just chilling, on the wing somewhere, just waiting for a pass.
Well, Rob, to kind of piggyback off of that, so he picked Anthony Simmons. If there was a player out there that you would give the 6th and the 11th pick for say up, who would that be? That player for you for them to trade for?
I think, just off the top of my head, I would want a guy kind of maybe like Franz Wagner, like a guy that like is essentially Jeremy Sohan, but more offensively polished, a better decision maker, a guy that's still a positive defender, but you hit him the ball and he's hitting that jump shot. And if he's not, then he's pump fake, one dribble, and he's making a smart decision. And those are the kind of guys I want next to Wemby. And I don't know if necessarily he has that much value, but it would be a player like that. Someone 6'9", 6'10", could play alongside of Wemby. He could be a forward, 3-4, not necessarily a 5, but we also need a backup big too. So
yes,
yeah.
Well, though, to kind of piggyback off that, let's say we don't trade our picks. Who are y'all drafting? Let's say out of those earlier rounds, who's a couple players y'all would like to see them draft?
We were saying it on a previous episode, but we're looking in a anywhere from that like 6-7 to 11 range. Give me Con Kneppel.
That
a guy that can catch and shoot. Off the dribble. We've been talking about smart players that know exactly where the ball needs to go, and he fits that mold, and I don't think we've begun to scratch the surface of what he can actually do as a player. And so I think, if we're looking to take a flyer on a guy that fits our needs, give me Con.
Yeah, I would say if we do end up using your guys' scenario, the 6 and 11, I would love us to make a phone call to the 1 or 2 and just, hey, do you guys want 2 picks, a few picks back, and we make this trade, just straight up picks for this year? I think that's a conversation you at least have to pick up the phone and see if they're interested. And if you're like the, whoever gets a number 1 or number 2, like let's say it's the Wizards or let's say it's the Jazz, you might want to entertain that. And, especially if you're the Wizards and you have an Alex R, then you have a guys that, 2 guys, lottery picks that could go alongside him rather than just one good guy. I mean, I think you have to make that call.
I think 2 would be more doable because I think everybody's drooling over Flag, which I completely understand it. I mean, he is amazing. And just, I think the revenue he would bring into a franchise, it would overtake. I don't care if it was the 4th and 5th pick you were trying to trade me. I think the revenue that Flag himself would bring in. So if that number 2 did pick up that phone and agree, I would love Ace Bailey out of Rutgers. I think Ace Bailey is a stud. Can play the 2, 3, or 4. Great shooter. I think he was hurt kind of in the middle of the year or towards the tail end of the year. Nothing major, but I think he kind of almost shut himself down just to preserve, going forward.
Yeah, because Rutgers wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah,
so.
Rutgers wasn't good anyway. But yeah, dude, I would love that scenario as well. Packaging too. I'm to me, you take chances on rookies, right? I mean, you know what they bring to the table from the college side, but I'm always give me a vet, like you said, a vet. Give me a star that I can package 6 and 11 for that can come in and help me immediately versus trying to hope that this second pick works out.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by a player myself, and I've heard rumors that he likes the thought of playing in San Antonio. I don't know how true they are, and I think this guy would pair well with Wemby particular. I like Naz Reid from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
love
I like
Nas Reed.
him. I like him. I think that would give us another big man. Not only can he rebound, block, all the things that, well, we get a lot of it with Wemby. I mean, obviously he doesn't need help there, but it's just another rim protector, but he can shoot the ball. The other night against the Lakers, he played phenomenal. He shot the ball like really well from three. So, I mean, I know he can be streaky from three, but I mean, most big men are. Even Jokic, one of the best players in the league, they're all streaky from threes, right? Let's just be real. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, potentially struggles from three. But I think he brings a game that would be very intriguing to see in San Antonio. But that's kind of a guy. I don't know if he'd be worth the 2 picks, but potentially a pick or maybe some player trades down maybe in the offseason. But if I had to pick a player, man, I never can pronounce this guy's name. Maybe Derek can, but the big man from Duke, the guy from wherever he's from.
Malawak.
Yes.
Every time I see him play, I just see San Antonio written all over him. I do. Like he fits the mold. He's a rebounder, shot blocker.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of could take the pressure off Wemby a little bit defensively to where he can focus more on that offensive being more consistent. Because I do think in year 2, he was more consistent, but I think he could be even more consistent from the offense side of things. So it kind of would take a little bit off of Wemby. I think their biggest need this year is another big man. I mean, I thought when they brought in Bismack Biyombo, I loved it.
Yeah.
Not thinking he was going to be a Wemby, but I thought, well, we needed a big man. We didn't have no one, but I can't even pronounce that guy's name. Is number
Mamu?
54. Mamu. I always try to pronounce his last name, but Mamu. I loved him. Like that one game where he had like 30-something points. Like it was insane. But again, he's a Spurs player because, well, for one, he's from overseas, and we love people from overseas. I mean,
Shout out to Georgia.
we can go down the road with how many foreign players have came to San Antonio, but I want someone like I think the 3 a spot up shooter like the kid from Duke. I think he'd be great, but I also love the big man from Duke. Like we need guys like that, and I think if we focus on the biggest need, and I do think it's the big man, because like I think we need to give Wemby a little bit of help because like he's going into year 3. Coming off of, I don't think he's going to play in the beginning of the season. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I think they're going to be very, very cautious with him, and I think they should, but not keep him out too long in the beginning of the season. Make sure he's fully healthy. Make sure all that stuff's going, because I don't want to run into it halfway down the season, and then we're kind of in the same boat that we are in this season. I know that's something you can't really control, but hopefully this offseason they really – I mean, it seems like he's doing well. I mean, he was at the last game, sitting the sidelines. He was at the national championship game basketball. Yeah. He was there. So those are kind of what I'm thinking they should do. Personally, I love all those players that y'all mentioned. I'm excited for the draft.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm excited for this offseason. I mean, there's definitely other needs we need. But another thing I was going to ask y'all, who is off of who they have now, who is tradable in y'all's eyes? If there's a trade to happen, who can we let go that maybe won't hurt them as much, depending on who we get?
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. It's more like who has like team friendly contracts and who would have a good chance at absorbing those contracts. I look at like Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson, and I view their contracts at Devin is about like 30-ish and Keldon's like 16, 17. and that's a very packageable deal. Or you could, trade both of those for a second tier all-star, or one of those for some picks, or either of them to move up in the draft significantly. So I think that either of them have a good amount of capital and would make sense to move sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. I feel that everyone's tradable except for Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. I think everyone's on the chopping block. I think some guys played for their contract these past few weeks. So I think everyone's on the chopping block. Even Harrison Barnes, because he's a veteran. He has 1 year left on his deal. I think he's a really big asset that we can kind of dangle in front of somebody that might need a veteran presence to kind of get over that hump. And Harrison Barnes is just a really great player. He's going to give you 15 and 8 every night. It might be a little more, it might be a few more rebounds. So that's the kind of guy that you look at and you go, all right, who has a young team that, like, first team that comes to my mind is like the Pacers. Like, if the Pacers got like Harrison Barnes, I think they would kind of get a little bit more over that hump, give Siakam a little bit more of the space that he needs. So just kind of on the top of the dome, that's what I think of. But
even like him in Detroit would be another great destination for him.
Yeah, I love Duren. Duren's one of my. I wish the Spurs drafted him.
Yes,
I wish the Spurs drafted him over Jeremy Sohan. And I look at him now, and I'm just like, man, to put him next to Wemby, like,
well, Duren went number 2 in the draft, didn't he?
No, he was Sohan was 8.
I think he was 9. Either. Yeah, I think
it was the next pick is when he went.
Oh well, I mean, we could go down the list, and I mean, we could have drafted Alperen Şengün instead of Josh Primo. I mean,
yeah. I mean, look what happened with that.
He should not be named.
Yeah,
I named him
big, and look what happened with him. Yeah. Derrick, what about you? I want to hear your thoughts on that. Like, what's who do you think? I mean, I kind of agree with AJ. I think everyone is tradable besides Wemby and Fox.
I almost would keep Castle also.
Yeah.
I mean, because that gives you a solid backcourt, right? Yeah. I mean, that gives you 2 running mates, or gives you a 6-man. If you depend on who you bring in the offseason, depend on who you draft. I think Castle has an amazing upside.
100%.
Just from how he was, and that's one of those. How's the rookie going to perform? How's that number 6 pick and that number 11 pick? I mean, you look at Castle. If the 6 and 11 perform like Castle did, now the Spurs are sitting great, staying at 6 and 11, adding to what they have now. But I think it all depends on, like you guys said, what can we get for Vassell and Harrison Barnes? What can we move up? 2 draft picks, two spots. Can we go from 6 to 4? Now you're changing the entire landscape, because that probably top 4. I'm going to say probably top 7 are really good players in this draft. Top 4 are probably your elite. I mean, you got the 2 kids from Rutgers, and of course Flag. And I don't know if you could package anything with that 4th pick to move up even further. But yeah, I'm curious to see I think the lottery is going to tell a whole lot. The draft lottery will tell a whole lot. Maybe the balls fall our way again, and we do get the 2nd or the 1st. I mean, I told Dustin
crazier things have happened.
when I saw that Flag is entering the draft, I immediately text Dustin. I was like, he knows something. He knows something. Like if I'm the number 1 overall pick, I'm not coming out going to Washington. I'm not coming out going to Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm not. I'm not. And now I don't think it's rigged or anything like that, but I was just like, he knows something. Like he knows, he has to know something.
I thought he had a better chance of, like, not a better chance. I mean, he could have did whatever, but I thought it was more intriguing to go back to Duke another year to see how the NBA
100%
next year playoffs.
Him with the Boozer twins, that would have been phenomenal.
I mean, I just think you're missing out on the potential to get to your max contract sooner in the NBA.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Like the overall outlook could be you could miss out on a couple $100 million just by staying at Duke another year, which would ultimately be silly. But at the same time, I agree. You know, it felt like they left a lot on the table. That, you know, we were talking to Duke fans all Final Four weekend in San Antonio.
Videos.
Yeah.
And they were the most confident bunch. So it was, you know, it feels like, you know, feels like a lot of their fan base, you know, feels like they should have done better.
Yeah. Well, I got kind of a 2-part question for you guys, and I'm gonna get both of y'all's takes on it.
Let's do it.
1, who's winning the MVP? And 2, who's winning the whole thing?
Ooh. Hold on.
AJ, I'll let you.
Yeah,
I'll let you start this one off.
Yeah.
Rob,
let me go
Rob's
ahead.
got to take a second.
Yeah, let me take that arrow first. So personally, I do think Yoke should probably win MVP just because statistically he's just had an insane season, and I mean his true shooting percentage is insane. Like,
yes,
he's such a great player, and honestly, we remove him from the Nuggets and they're dog water. They're
exactly
bad.
what I said Sunday.
And then you look at a guy at SGA, and like SGA is a great player, but and he's had a great season, but you take him away like you did this past weekend, and they're still going to win by 20 points or whatever it is. Like they're still a great team even without him. So that's but it also all comes down to, is it going to be voter fatigue? Is it really going to be one of those things? Like just all these kind of outstanding factors are going to play a role, and also reporters are fickle. So we'll see what happens with that. But to win the whole thing, I think Boston. I think Boston might go back to back.
That's what we picked.
Yeah,
we picked Boston. And to touch on your Jokic thing, could you imagine how good he could be if he actually cared about basketball?
Insane.
I mean, that's the whole knock on him is he doesn't care. Like if it was up to him, season could end today and he'd go back to his horses and hang out and chill with his brothers.
If he ended up at the Mavericks, he'd be like, I can play for horse. And like that, literally like oh, this is fun. Like that would be my thing for him, is like, go play with the Mavericks because it has a horse as a logo. Have fun.
There it is.
Yes, that'd be hilarious. That didn't even cross my mind. I'm glad the horse thing. That's hilarious.
Go ahead, Rob. Who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think I gotta go Jokic as well. I mean, it's like the efficiency, the counting stats, just the fact that he's top 5 in every major statistic. And the one thing that people were pointing a finger at the last couple of years and said, well, you know what, Jokic, you're not really defending that well. And he doubled down and then finished second in the league in steals per game. And so I feel like even on his historic seasons, he was able to improve. And I can't gloss over that, even though SGA has put together 3 of the most impressive 30-point seasons from any guard in NBA history. I just still feel like Jokic just slightly nudges him out, just barely.
Yeah.
How would well, go ahead. I'll pick your team, and then I have one question about the MVP I want to get y'all's thoughts about.
But I actually think this is OKC's year. I know that they don't have a lot of postseason experience, but when I see that team turn really solid, sound defense into just punishing offense, I'm just looking at, any team in the NBA and saying, how are you going to deal with that? And I realistically don't know how anyone is.
Yeah, I mean, when they won by 51 the other night, me and Derek were both like, they've got to be favorites. That was a statement win to show like we understand we've done the last couple of years. We probably lost when we probably shouldn't have. That was probably pure being young and inexperienced in the playoffs. I kind of thought that might be the case this year, but that first game against that Grizzlies team, I'm not saying they're great, but they're not Orlando Magic bad. They're better than Orlando, in my opinion. I'm just saying, kind of comparing it from the East to the West.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oklahoma City's for real this year.
Yes. And then And we've talked about it. They addressed exactly what they needed to do. Last year they got dogged by the Mavs, and it was Lively, it was Gafford, it was all of their bigs down low. So what did they do? They went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein, and all of a sudden he's banging down low, and they don't have those problems. Chet doesn't have to absorb all that contact, and they're able to play a little more freely, and that is a really well balanced team.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, you have Alex Caruso too. It's a fun fact.
Yeah.
That team's so deep. I mean, it's so deep. And I love Isaiah Hartenstein. I loved him on the Knicks. And I wish the Spurs would have made a run at him too. But you watch him play, and he may only, I think the first game he had 8 rebounds. I don't know what he had last night, but you look at him and he's just always involved in some capacity, whether he's going after a loose ball or making a great pick to open up a shot for somebody. I mean, he's such a great player, and I hope that he finds a home, because for me, he's one of my favorite big men to watch. He plays with pride, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yes. So our poll from Sunday, now that we're kind of getting on the Oklahoma City side of it, was who had a better 3-year stretch at Oklahoma City? SGA or KD, and it was 70-30 SGA, and the kind of consensus was SGA has done more with less than KD did. I mean, you figure KD, Harden, Westbrook, Serge, Steven Adams. I mean, you're looking at 3 MVPs, I think, back to back to back. And then you have SGA and the team, but SGA is the really only star that's there. And one of the guys that we had on said that if SGA wins a title at Oklahoma City, not only will he get a statue, he will go down as the greatest Thunder. Now, I'm not saying anything Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, and the Supersonics, just the Thunder. He'll go down as the greatest Thunder of all time.
Oh, yeah. If he brings a championship. If he brings a championship to that organization, absolutely, he's the greatest.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at his 30-point seasons, how efficient they are, and when you just have guards that are putting up 35 and 5, there's really only a couple of guys you can bring into that conversation. One of them is Michael Jordan, and when you're in that kind of conversation, you're doing things right.
That's right.
Yeah. Completely agree. I kind of said the same thing. I think they're pretty even right now. I even went to the point is if he took them to the if he took them to the finals and they didn't win, I would still nod SGA because, well, the Thunder never made it to the – well, wait, they did make it to the finals, but they lost.
Yeah, they lost.
So it would be really close. But, I mean, I think if he wins championship, it's solidified he's the best Thunder of all time. And I would not surprise if they win another one if they could keep that core together. Oh, yeah. I was going to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about co-MVP? It's never been done, but is this the season it could ever be done because of how close it really is?
I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you.
We just brought that up, so I was like, man, I want to ask them about the co-MVP. Is that something that could ever be done, and is this the year it could be done?
think this has – if there ever was, I mean, you're punishing somebody, right? Like if SGA wins it, you punish the first ever triple-double player to not win MVP. If Jokic wins it, you're punishing SGA for having the best record in the NBA, another 36-5 season. I mean, somebody's getting punished.
Yeah.
Right. But it would almost feel like both players would be punished if it was a co.
That's true too.
Yeah, co-MVP.
That's true.
Because I remember. I think it was like the 95 Rookie of the Year where they did like co-Rookie of the Year with I think it was with Jason Kidd. I can't remember who he was rookie co-Rookie of the Year with, and it just felt really weird that they did that. And I was like, both players aren't really going to feel like they achieved anything. So I mean, sure, somebody may have their heart broken, but I still think just to actually do the award some justice, you just got to give it to one guy and then live with the decision.
Jason Kidd and Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. There we go.
Yes.
I mean, that had to be a hard one to pick. I mean, think about that. I mean, God, what Grant Hill could have been. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think about it, but we'll see kind of where all the cookie crumbles, and if any of these reporters get their pockets lined with some dollar bills. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, we appreciate y'all so much. We enjoyed this so much.
Yes.
You know, being able to talk for this long about Spurs and basketball, we have not done yet. To be honest with you, it's a little bit of everything, but we enjoyed this so much. And Rob, I mean, I appreciate you for messaging, play some. You probably thought some weirdo on TikTok trying to talk to you, and then I'm glad I ran across y'all's page. I thought it was really awesome, and then to find out y'all were like based in that area, I was like, I texted Derrick, I called him, I didn't even text him. I was like, dude, I'm about to line something up with some San Antonio Spurs podcast type thing out of San Antonio area. I'm getting him on. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get him on. So I'm glad. I appreciate you so much, Rob and AJ, for coming on. I mean, we really enjoyed it, and I would love to do this again in the future if y'all ever have the time. We'd love to come on one of y'all's if y'all would love to have us anytime to come and chit chat.
I'd love to maybe some a draft night special show.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, we would definitely love that.
If y'all don't have nothing planned, I'll keep in touch with you, Rob. I have your number, and if y'all want to do something like that, we would love it.
Well, we appreciate you guys having us for sure, and I do need to ask both of you, Derrick, Dustin, I have to know, who is y'all's favorite Spur of all time?
Oh, Tim Duncan. I'm not even going to. Look, I mean, I literally have a chair with his face on it. I mean, in his jersey. I mean, come on.
So
old school Afro, Tim Duncan. So
quick story about old Timmy.
Oh yeah, Derrick has to tell y'all something.
My cousin lives down in San Antonio, and I think it was 2004. It might have been 2005, but I think it was 4. Thanksgiving. We're out in the backyard and we're playing with football. You know, they're cooking. We're throwing the football around. Ball goes over the fence. You go to the fence. You hear the neighbors over there. This hand comes over the fence. Throw the ball back. It's Tim Duncan.
Oh wow!
Did he want to play ball?
No, he wanted us to come over and eat Thanksgiving dinner with him, his family, Tony Parker, and Eva Longoria.
No way.
Yeah,
oh,
that's wild.
Yeah. So
that's a happy Thanksgiving.
That's a great Thanksgiving. That is, that was pretty neat.
Also, what's your family do? They must live in a really nice area.
So my cousin's husband, he sells hospital equipment.
Nice.
And his parents are, one of them worked for the Bill Clinton administration.
Oh snap!
Hey Chase, man, how are you?
And the other one was like vice president of like IBM or something like that. So they came from a lot of money.
Yeah, they're doing good. That's awesome, dude. That's a cool story.
Yeah. So
hey, I'll tell you, I got a cool story for you too. It's not as cool as that. That you listen, having Thanksgiving dinner with Tim Duncan, you're not going to beat it. No story can beat that from a fan. But I went to a Spurs game one time. I don't remember when it was, and it's Kawhi was still on the team. And I told my brother, he was with me. I was like, I'm telling you, I am getting his autograph. Okay. I was like, I was dead set on getting his autograph. And I had some, I don't even remember. I think I had a Spurs sweater. That's all I had. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it on this. He probably thought I was the weirdest person in the world, but I don't care. He's not on the team no more, but whatever. So he reaches out to sign, and I hand him the marker, and I grabbed his hand and grazed it because I wanted to see how big it was. And he probably thought I was the weirdest guy, but that is the most biggest hand I've ever seen in my entire life.
And Dustin's like, I love you. I love you.
Yes, I love you so much. Thank you for signing it. But in the process, I'm going to rub your hand. I promise you, I don't run that way, but I had to do it. But
you have such pretty nails.
Right.
Well, I had to do it. I had to do it.
Since we're talking about Tim Duncan stories, Rob, I'm going to tell ours. I don't know if you remember this. I'm sure you do. I had a birthday party at a paintball place in San Antonio, and it was on a Sunday because that's when it wasn't a lot of people, and we would go out there and have a great time. So Rob was there, a handful of our friends were there, and all of a sudden we see like a Cadillac just tinted out windows. We see a Suburban tinted out windows, and like all these different cars come in, and we're like, what is happening? Like they're about to close. What's this going on here? And come to find out, it was like half the Spurs team going to play paintball. And so the last game of the evening, we got to play against Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and like a handful. Who was that guy from Notre Dame that we had for a little bit?
Dude, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name either, but he was there too. And it was one of those situations where they were like, all right, we'll let you kids play with the Spurs for one game. And I remember distinctly this kid that we didn't know him. And first of all, Tim Duncan was the fastest man I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
Like that dude moved like water in a stream. He was
we
so fast.
beat them. We beat them. We beat them.
We did beat them. But what was really funny was I got hit and I was like, oh, that sucks. All right, I'm out. And as I was walking out, Tony Parker got hit. So we kind of walked out at the same time. And he was just speaking French. I was like, I think you're saying bad words, but I'm not too sure. And then there's this kid who was younger than us, and we were probably like in the 8th, 9th grade, something like maybe 8th grade, and he was younger than us, and he was just waiting. He knew Tim Duncan was like around the corner, and he was just hiding because he wanted Tim Duncan to come and touch him and not shoot him, because when you get that close, you're not supposed to shoot. So he was just waiting, and you could see through his mask this big smile, and he was just like, oh, he's coming. He's coming.
Kid in a candy store.
And then all of a sudden you see this giant figure come from around who's like, surrender? And he's like, yeah.
That is hilarious, man. Good times.
We love our Spurs stories, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. They're so much fun. I mean, that's where I was born, and I moved up to East Texas. My family did, so I used to go stay down in family. I used to drive down and go to a game over a weekend and drive back the next day. That's how big of a fan I was. I'll never forget the time when Denver wasn't good and we were phenomenal, and I drove down there just to watch them kill them, and then I drove back. I didn't even care. But well, guys, again, we appreciate y'all. We're gonna keep in touch, and again, we really enjoyed this, and y'all have a good evening, and we'll keep in touch and get together soon again.
Absolutely. Derrick, Dustin, thanks for having us. Yeah, we will definitely do it again soon.
Yeah, all right, guys.
Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it.
All right, peace.
Later, man. Well, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. So it's so cool to talk to other Spurs fans. Like it's me and you. Yes. I mean, we all talk basketball, but Derrick, let's get into this. Let's turn our attention to this draft.
Let's pull it up.
Let's turn our attention to this draft.
So me and Dustin are fixing to play NFL GM. Draft is tomorrow. Real quick. Boston beat Orlando tonight.
That was a second game?
Yeah, they came back. They were down by like 15 at one point. Ended up losing by 9, 100 to 109. I can't see the score of these other two games. Cleveland won 121 to 112, and then the Houston and Golden State's on right now. So just a little preview of that. But anyway, we're gonna play. We're gonna play NFL GM, and kind of like we were talking about earlier today, we're just gonna alternate picks here. We're gonna alternate and kind of explain why we went, how we went for these teams.
Derrick, you're gonna go odd, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start it off, and of course. Oh, hang on a minute. Messed that up.
He was about to pick all of them.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Derrick, you're on the clock. You're Tennessee. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing?
I'm taking Cam Ward, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's the easiest pick I think there's going to be in this draft. As long as there's no trades, right? As long as nobody's trading, nobody's moving. Cam Ward, they do have Will Levis. I think they keep Will Levis as a backup, just in case, because he didn't play bad down the stretch last year. But Cam Ward is the franchise quarterback for the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
So moving on to the Cleveland Browns.
I'm Cleveland Browns. I'm on the clock, man. This is harder than what everyone probably thinks. I think realistically, there's two choices here. All right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going for this, Derek. It could be wrong or right, however people want to view it. But give me the Browns selection. They will be drafting Abdul Carter,
I love it.
and I'm going to tell you why. The offense is going to be so bad. Myles Garrett's going to need help. It doesn't matter if they draft Hunter or not. The offense isn't going to change. But here we go. Here's my reasoning. Travis Hunter is going to play two ways. Well, supposedly that's what he wants to do. He's not going to be great at either one. We've given up stats why. Abdul Carter will be a more game changer on the defense side of the ball than Travis Hunter will defensively. That's why. Then they need more help defensively. I know offensively they need a lot of help, but I think you'll get a more productive first year out of Abdul Carter than you will Travis Hunter, and that's why the Cleveland Browns would pick Abdul Carter.
I like it. The New York Giants are gonna do New York Giants things, and they're gonna set their franchise back 5 years, and they're gonna draft Travis Hunter, and they're gonna try to play him both ways, and he's gonna get ate up. He cannot guard AJ Brown. He cannot guard CeeDee Lamb. He cannot guard Scary Terry in Washington. He cannot guard Devontae Smith in Philadelphia. Offensively, the Eagles are going to shut him down. They've got an amazing secondary. Washington is going to shut him down. They went out and got Stephen Lattimore to shore up their defense or their secondary side.
Hey, appreciate all the views and stuff and likes on TikTok. Ben, thank you for being here. I see you in the chat. We appreciate all of y'all for being here.
So that's what the Giants are going to do. The Giants are going to set themselves back 5 years.
I love it. Okay, Patriots are on the clock here. That'd be me. Who's going to come in and make an impact? Who's the quarterback for them? Who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Drake May? I would assume.
Drake May.
Okay. I think this person will help them. I think he changes things for him. Year one, I don't think he goes this early in the real draft, but if this was me, and this is what I'm doing, I'm trying to build a franchise and what they're doing, because they have a defensive-minded coach, right? Mm-hmm. Hear me out. I think that the defense will be better than expected. I think the offense will be not as good as expected. And I think this person changes the game for them. Give me Ashton Genty to the Patriots.
At 4. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That will help Drake May out so much, like he would help any quarterback out. They have no running game. They have weapons on the receiving end. Why not?
Well, sitting at 5, I think there's only one option, and you have to get to the quarterback, right? In the AFC South, you have to get to C.J. Stroud. Now you have to get to Cam Ward. You can obviously get to Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco in Indianapolis because their line's atrocious. So,
hey, I had someone on TikTok said, "What if Philly gets Travis?" Well, I don't think he's going to drop that far.
Yeah, I don't
think he drops that far. I mean,
no.
Unless they'd have to trade up. That'd be the only way, man.
Yeah, somebody's going to overreach on him anyway. I think you would overreach on him if you took him at 1 anyway. But I'm taking Mason Graham, the DT out of Michigan, to go to Jacksonville to get pressure on the quarterback, to get to C.J. Stroud, to get to now Cam Ward, who's at Tennessee. And I think that gives their offense, who they're not bad. They're not bad offensively, right? But that's what I think they do.
Okay. All right, Raiders pick. So they have Geno Smith. They have Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a good team, period. Except for defensively. Well, they have a good defensive end that just got paid a lot of money. So defensively, you could say they're probably okay. The Raiders always lose those games like they do the Chiefs every year, 18-20, right? That's the type of losses they have. They've got to get Geno some weapons somewhere. I think they need offensive line help, but I don't think they take an offensive lineman at 6. They're thinking off-season trading, something like that down the road before the season starts. I don't think they draft a offensive lineman here. I think he would help, but I don't think they draft that here. I think that they draft McMillan out of Arizona.
Great pick.
Out of Arizona to give Geno a young and has potential to be good weapon. I don't know if he'll be as good as advertised, but I think he could help them offensively if he is as advertised.
I really like that pick, and I agree just with what you said. And I'm going to do the same thing for the New York Jets. The New York Jets are actually going to make a smart decision, and they are going to take Matthew Golden and pair him with Garrett Wilson, and that is one of the best young duos for
Justin
Fields, who showed signs that he can actually be pretty good when he was in Philly. So I take Matthew Golden out of Texas to the New York Jets.
Man, Carolina, man. I think here you got to go defense. I don't think there's no question here. I think they have Bryce Young. I think he was better this year.
He got better at the end.
Yeah, he got better at the end. They re-signed their running back, so it tells me they want him long term.
Yes, they re-signed Hubbard.
I really think they could use a wide receiver. I think that's probably what they need the most offensively. And I'm looking, and I'm trying to think of receivers that are here. I'm just not really liking anyone for them. I mean, you could even say, you know what? I know exactly who I'm picking here. Carolina Panthers select Tyler Warren out of Penn State.
I like him.
I'm going offense.
Give him that security blanket.
It will give him a security blanket to throw to in them short down situations or any situation. He will be open like he was in Penn State. Now, the question is, are they going to get him the ball? That's going to always be the question. But I do like him going to Carolina.
So I almost want to throw the draft off right here, and I'm going to tell you I'm not going to do it because I'm going to tell you what my thought was. Who is the new coach for the Saints?
Oh, my God, why can't I think of his name?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah.
Where did Kellen Moore come from?
Boise State.
Philly. Offensive coordinator at Philly, right? Who was his quarterback?
Jalen Hurts.
What's his strength?
Running.
Matter of fact, I am going to do it. Where's he from?
Where's Jalen Monroe, Alabama?
We're going to draft Jalen Monroe at the 9th pick for the New Orleans Saints, and he is going to fit perfectly in Kellen Moore's offense.
Okay. Wow. That'd be really interesting, Derek.
Okay. I love the pick. I love it.
Man. So, Chicago, Jesus. Remind me, I'm trying to look. This guy from Missouri, is that a defensive tackle or is that an offensive tackle?
That's offensive tackle. Left tackle.
Good. So, they need offensive help, especially on the line. They've got to protect Paint Fingers boy, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams.
So, because of that, give me the kid from Missouri. I think they offensive
Armand Mbuba.
Mm-hmm.
Great pick.
This is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what you do here.
I'm taking Will Campbell, left tackle out of LSU, to replace Trent Williams.
Mm.
I think that is the pick. I think you're fixing to pay Brock Purdy. You need to protect your quarterback. You need to protect. And Will Campbell made a statement the other day that was absolutely perfect, and it summed up who he is. He said, if you're a defensive end and you have 1 sack a game for 12 games, you're going top 5 in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
He says, if you're an offensive tackle and you give up 1 sack a game for 12 games, you're working at Amazon. He's gave up 1 sack in the last 2 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
And he's the one that they are complaining about his shorter arms. That he doesn't have the reach. But yet he's only gave up 1 sack. He's the best offensive left tackle in this draft, without question.
I like it.
Now I'm curious to see what you do right there.
Why do I have the Cowboys pick, man? I'm stuck. I already have 2 players on my mind. I don't know what to do here because this is exactly how Jerry's going to think. I don't know what to do here. What do I do, guys? I don't even know the head coach's name, but he'll be like, hey, what do I do here? What's really going to help us?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Schottenheimer's going to be like, I don't know. Give me everything. We need a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm trying to it's going to be offensively. I don't think we're bad defensively. We were injured a lot last year. So with that being said, give me Banks out of Texas. I'm going offensive line.
Banks out of Texas.
We've got to, if Dak is going to have a productive season, we've got to get him some offensive linemen that can produce day one that can help.
I will tell you, personally, I would have went Malik Williams out of Georgia to put opposite of Micah. Okay. I think the offensive line class is deep this year.
It is.
That would have been. But I love the Banks pick, and I've said this before. If Banks is sitting there at 12, I almost wouldn't mind trading back 4 spots because you can either get Simmons or Banks still and pick up an extra pick this draft. So I'm not mad at that pick at all. The Miami Dolphins, with the 13th pick, are taking the best cornerback in this draft, and they're taking Will Johnson because they're going to trade Jalen Ramsey. They have to have somebody come in and fill that role. They're going to trade Ramsey. They're going to pick Will Johnson.
Man. So the Colts, to me, it's defense for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've really got to get better defensively. I know Anthony Richardson had a really bad year last year in his technical first full season because he was injured his rookie year.
Right.
But I think they have enough there to build upon, and I really think their defense has got to get better. Who's there at the top? What does he play?
Cornerback.
I just can't.
That's your Longhorn.
I couldn't see it. You know what? Give me the defensive end from Georgia. Game changer for them.
Yep, good pick because that's who I was just going to take for Atlanta. I was going to keep him at home in Atlanta, but you went with that pick. So I'm going with Shamar Stewart, defensive end out of Texas A&M. He is a wrecking ball. I think he's had 9 sacks the last 2 years, so 18 sacks in the last 2 years as a DN. And I want to say he actually lined up inside a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he was getting double teamed and was still getting sacks, and he can run from sideline to sideline. So I think that is a great pick for Atlanta. It helps them on offensively. They're really good. They have the pieces. They just got to get them to come together.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Arizona. Here's what I'm worried about with Arizona. What is their future offensively? Is Kyler Murray still your guy? And I'm not going to say he's not. I'm just asking. It's a question for an Arizona fan. If there's an Arizona fan in here, my question to you is that your guy? because they have Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think they need weapons. I'm trying to figure out, do they need offensive line help? They have McBride. They just signed to one of the biggest tight end contracts, so he's doing well. But I think they're good enough offensively, but their defense is very, okay. And in that division, you need to get to the quarterback. You got Detroit, you got the Rams. Who else is in that division? I can't think of who else is in the division, but they need to get to the quarterback, and I think that's where they lack.
No, in Arizona's division?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arizona's division is the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers.
I mean, that's even...
Yeah, not Detroit.
I don't know why I thought Detroit was in that division. My bad. So with that being said, give me the edge from Tennessee.
I love it.
Give me the edge from Tennessee.
Get to the quarterback.
I'm just going to. You've probably. I don't know why they have a wide receiver weapon for them for the Bengals that they need. It's got to be defense.
It is 100% defense.
Got to be defense.
And for me, it is Walter Nolan, the former number one player in the class of 2022. He was an A&M commit for 1 year. Had some trouble off the field, so A&M didn't play him that much. Ended up transferring to Ole Miss and played himself into a top 20 pick in the NFL. So congratulations, Walter Nolan. You're going to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Seattle. Who's a quarterback for Seattle now?
Dude from the Minnesota.
That's right. That's right.
Not Kirk Cousins.
Oh my God, he was just the quarterback for Minnesota. Why am I drawing a blank here?
I am too.
Football's been over for 3 months, and we forget who we watched all season.
Let's see.
Who was the quarterback? Why am I drawing a blank?
As soon as I say it, you'll know.
I know it's the little redhead kid.
It is.
Dude, why am I drawing a blank on this?
Sam Darnold.
Damn Darnold. That's him.
Yeah.
So that's Sam Darnold. So. I'm trying to think what can really come in and help them. Let me see here. Click on the offensive lineman, just the whole offensive lineman tab up there, or offensive line. Yeah. Oh, give me Josh Simmons.
There you go.
Their offensive lineman is atrocious in Seattle. Geno Smith was running around. He was like a running back running the backfield all year. So they need offensive lineman help. I don't care what this board says, what they need. They need an offensive lineman. I mean, it's just they do.
Finally, after a long wait and a semi-long slide, we're going to get Barron from Texas to go to and going to help solidify the Buccaneers defense. I was going to take the edge out of Tennessee had you not took him.
Okay.
But we're going to help the back end for the Buccaneers. AJ, if you're watching this, that's picks for you, brother.
Okay, here.
Denver.
Man.
What do we do with Denver?
Click on the wide receivers up there.
Boom.
Give me the wide receiver from Ohio State.
And
He will change that. That offense is going to get better with him, adding him instantly.
I love it. That's a great pick. Great pick. So I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, my dad's team.
Derek, what do you do here?
What do we do? I think you have to take the linebacker from Georgia. You pair him with TJ Watt in that secondary and that defensive front. Cameron Hayes. So you take Jalen Walker here.
Okay. Okay, Derek, I see you. Well, I was kind of surprised.
Who'd you think I was going with?
I thought you might pick Shador.
Nope.
Okay.
If we make it to the second round, which we very well could, because we got 20 minutes. So if we make it to round 2, that's when things are getting interesting.
Okay. Chargers. I really think offensively all they need is a tight end, but I don't think it's necessary. I think the Chargers need to go defensive here.
Okay.
Let me see the edge guys that are left. All right, baby. You already know who I'm going to pick, baby. Give me Landon Jackson to the Chargers.
That is a terrible pick. That is a massive reach. He's the 42nd ranked prospect, and you're getting him at 22?
Yeah, give him to me. I love him.
Man.
We got to throw some crazy ones in here every now and again.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going to go with a straight Green Bay pick here. I'm going to take the offensive tackle out of North Dakota State.
Yeah, they need
I mean, they need offensive help. That just looks like a Green Bay Packer. I mean, white guy with a mustache from North Dakota State. I mean, I don't know what more Green Bay needs.
So Minnesota, this is very interesting because I'm assuming they're going to start J.J. McCarthy. That's my assumption.
Yes.
And with that being said, they need help offensive line, in my opinion, to protect. They need to protect him like majorly.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, and I think they need to go with. Let's see here. Just give me the guy right there out of Oregon.
Out of Oregon, Josh Conley Jr.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not sure who that is, but I'm just thinking they need to make sure they protect J.J. McCarthy. That's going to be their guy.
Yep.
And I mean, I know they have Justin Jefferson. They have I can't think of the running back's name there, but they've got to make sure they're protecting him. And I think that they could use an offensive lineman to make sure that they for sure protect his blind side. That's the one thing you have to protect, especially with him coming off an injury. Technically, it's going to be his rookie season because he didn't play last year. That'd be my pick.
So, sitting here at 25 for Houston, they do not need a running back. They have Joe Mixon, who is, I know later in his life, we can address that running back situation later. I'm going to go offensive line as well. I'm going to go with an Alabama man, Tyler Booker, out of Alabama, offensive guard, and I'm going to take him right here. I'm going to shore up. I'm going to build the inside out. Protect C.J. Stroud, keep him upright, and let him work.
Okay. Oh, this is a tough one for me.
This is your boys.
I'm going to do something crazy here. I don't know if this really happens. Thinking future. Give me Shador.
That's exactly who I thought you were going to take.
Give me Shador. I mean, this is how I'm looking at it. If there's anyone there's only two guys I think he should play with or be mentored by in this league. It's Joe Flacco, who's in the Browns now. And that's another reason I went defensively is because they have Joe Flacco. And again, not saying Joe Flacco is going to give you 50 touchdowns, but look what he took them to the playoffs 2 years ago. And they went to the AFC. They got beat by Baltimore, if I remember.
Yep.
Okay. If he took you that far, that's why I went defense for them. The reason I picked Shador is the only other person I want to see him behind is one of the best slingers to ever sling the ball, and that's Matthew Stafford. And not only that, they have a team already there. Like, here's my thing. There could be when that time comes, there's no excuses for why Shador isn't playing well. He's going to have a 2-horse running back. He's going to have weapons on the outside and Puka Nacua. Why not? I'm just saying right now, that's how I feel about it. I don't think he goes there, but where we're at in this draft, for the Rams to potentially build a future and see what really is made of Shador, that's why I picked him.
So I think there's a trade at 26. If Shador is on the board at the Rams pick at 26, I think the New York Giants call, and I think the Giants trade back into the first to get Shador to pair him with Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter.
Wow.
That's just my opinion.
I mean, definitely could happen.
So now we're here at Baltimore. I think of the division. I think of the Browns, who really nah. But then I think of the Steelers, and I think of the Bengals. Probably have two of the top 6 wide receiver duos in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we're going to get Siobhan Rell Jr. out of East Carolina to shore up the back end for the Baltimore Ravens.
I like it. Wow, Detroit. What does Detroit do? I just don't know who you need offensively. Maybe another wide receiver. Maybe.
Well, you know they are talking about trading Jameson.
Who do you get here? Throw the wide receivers up there. And then, but again, I think what lost them in that game was their defense.
Mm-hmm.
So give me another. Put the edge players up there. I don't know much about this player, but I feel like putting someone on the other side of what's his name that got hurt. I can't remember his. I think that would really turn this defense around. If this player can come in and produce, and I don't know much about this player, you would probably give me the kid out of A&M. I don't know much about him. Is that bad?
Another reach, dude. You could get him at 44.
I don't know much about him. I don't know much about these ends. I wanted.
He's another great one. I will say this: he's another great. A&M had the best defensive line outside of Ole Miss in the country. They were top 3, in my opinion, in the country. Sitting here at number 30 or 29, I'm going Mike Green, DN out of Marshall for Washington. I think that's exactly what they need. That it shores up their front. They'll have one of the best front 7 in the NFL next year.
Wow. I love the pick. The Bills. I think we're the Bills. They've got to get over this hump with the Chiefs. I think they need more offensive weapons receiving wise. I think their defense is fine. Even losing Von Miller, it's not going to hurt them. Like, he's not what Von Miller used to be. I'm not saying he didn't produce. Put the wide receivers up there again. I'm picking a wide receiver here. There's no doubt. Give me Luther from Missouri,
and that makes Buffalo dangerous.
That's my point.
Absolutely dangerous. Love the pick.
This isn't going to be. I'm excited to see this pick.
I would not be surprised if they didn't trade back here. But for our sake, I'm not going to trade back. And I'm going to snag them defensive tackle Kenneth Grant out of Michigan.
Okay.
I think think about who's in their division. The Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers. What are those 3 teams going to end up doing? They're going to run the football.
Oh,
especially the Chargers, who just got Najee Harris. And Jim Harbaugh likes to run the ball. You need somebody that's going to clog the middle for you, and that's what Kenneth Grant is going to do.
Okay. Eagles. Give me linebackers. Throw the linebackers up there. I'm really feeling. Give me Campbell out of Alabama.
Campbell out of Alabama. There it is. I love it. Good pick. And with that, the first round is over with. So now we got about 11 minutes left. We're gonna kind of run through this second round and just
Okay.
kind of see where we go. I think this is where Cleveland gets their quarterback,
Hmm.
and they're getting Jackson Dart, the
Okay.
gunslinger, the Matthew Stafford of this draft.
Okay, give me go to the quarterbacks.
Are you gonna do it?
No, I'm not getting him Quinn Ewers. He ain't going that high.
I will tell you this. I've read multiple reports that Tyler Saul has the potential to be the best quarterback in this draft. And he is
Hey.
ranked 100th.
So as soon as I say this, you're gonna know who I'm gonna pick. I was really hard on this person, but I'm gonna give him a chance. Give me Will Howard out of
Will
Ohio
Howard?
State.
That seems like a New York pick. I will
Yeah,
tell you
well-
that. That seems like a New York pick, so you did very well in that.
Whether it's right or wrong, it's very
Yeah,
New
whether
York-ish.
right or wrong. We have a franchise quarterback in Tennessee. And what do you need to do with a franchise quarterback? You need to protect them. So we're going to take the offensive tackle out of Arizona.
Okay. So I think Jaguars should definitely get a corner here.
Mhm.
I mean the defense is. I mean it's okay, but it's just not great. Give me the corners. I know you went defense. I'm gonna go defensive again. Give me the one from South Carolina up there. I mean he's lasted this long.
Yep.
I think he can definitely come in and contribute for them
Great pick.
defensively.
I'm gonna stick here at the cornerback position for Oakland. Or Las Vegas, should I say? You went offensive wide receiver with the first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So here in the second round, we're going to take the safety Malik Starks out of Georgia.
Okay. Patriots.
You went Genty round one.
Right. Put the wide receiver. I really think they still need to get an offensive weapon here. Give me the kid at Ohio State. I mean, not Ohio State. I mean,
Iowa State.
Iowa State. Yeah.
Jaden Higgins. I like the pick. Chicago. You an offensive tackle. We're gonna go defensive end. Princely Umanalina out of Ole Miss.
Okay. So
New Orleans.
you went Jalen Monroe.
I went Jalen Monroe.
Put offensive lineman. We got to protect them. Got to protect them if we're going to have them. I mean, again, I don't know. Give me the guy out of Minnesota there. I mean, we got to protect them. If we're going to get them, we have to protect them.
I like it. Going right back with Chicago. We went tackle. We went defensive end. It doesn't show it here, but they need it. I'm going to give them a running game. I'm going to get a Marion Hampton at the 42nd pick.
41st pick.
Or 41st, I'm sorry.
The Jets.
And I think that could be a steal. Jets went Matthew Golden in round one.
All right, so I'm going to do a Jets thing. I'm going to do what the Jets would do. Not what I would do, because this is a Jets move. You're going to call me crazy. Put the quarterbacks on the board. Give me Tyler out of Louisville.
There you go. Good pick.
I mean, I like him.
San Fran. San Fran went offensive tackle round one. Round
got about,
two.
Got about 2 minutes, and then we'll cut it off. So
Yeah.
we can kind of end.
I'm gonna go cornerback in that division. I like to throw it. We're gonna go Benjamin Morrison.
You already know who I'm taking here. Oh, you ain't even you already know. Go to the running backs. Give me our boy.
James Johnson. There he is, sitting right there waiting on us.
Mm-hmm.
Great pick. I love it. I freaking love it. Tennessee. We're gonna give Indianapolis a tight end to throw the ball to.
That'd be huge. Falcons. Who'd you pick in the Falcons? Who'd you pick with them in the first pick?
ATL. We win defense. Shamar Stewart. Yep. We'll make this the last pick, and we can kind of wrap it up.
And who's the receivers there?
Landon Jackson. They got Kyle Pitts at tight end.
I'm gonna do. Give me the linebackers here. I'm gonna go defense again here. I feel like their defense is not up to par. Hey, give me the kid out of South Carolina there.
I love it. Great pick. That's a great pick. So we'll end it there. I think we did some pretty good picks. I mean, just legitimate. I love the
ones.
Right here. Let's check the profile of who we got here, dude. 1,500 yards, 60.4 yards, 21 rushing touchdowns, 6'1", 224 with a 4.5 40.
If Dallas gets him, I mean, I feel so.
I'm telling you.
Well.
I mean, just unbelievable. But yeah, we'll take that.
Hey, great show. Again, we appreciate the baseline
it. It was so fun.
So much fun. Again, y'all go follow them on all their socials. I'll put this up here for a second just to throw that up there. Please go follow them. We appreciate them coming on and talking some basketball and Spurs and stuff with us. It was a lot of fun.
Warriors down 14 with 14 seconds to go before half, and Colorado is up 1-0 on Dallas.
God dang it! Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Appreciate Baseline Bumps for joining us again.
Absolutely, that
a lot of fun.
Looking forward to doing that with him again.
Yeah, definitely. Again, Derrick's working on some stuff. We don't have much time here, but Derrick's working on. We're just gonna say this: we had a guy message us from. Is he from Canada?
He is a professional baseball player from Canada.
Okay.
An ex professional baseball player from Canada.
So he reached out to Derrick, so we're working on that. Derrick is we're working on some golf stuff here, so don't be surprised to see some golf guests on. Me and Derrick, I don't know what it is with this golf stuff, but we are like really deep into this golf stuff right now. So we're working on some stuff like that.
We'll show you how deep. Here, that's my background. That's my background on my screen.
We're deep into the golf right now. We're really excited. With that being said, don't miss us Friday. Back for another golf stream with me and Derrick. Going to play some golf on Friday.
And Sean, I think Sean's going to hop on with us.
Yeah, and like we said the other night we were doing it, if anybody else would love to play, just hit us up. I mean, we don't care if we have 5-6 people. We just want to play some golf, and it's comedy, it's frustration, and it's having a great time doing it. So please join us Friday for that. Time to be determined. We'll send out a message on our page for that about the time issue, about when we'll do it. And then we'll be back Sunday, of course, talking about, well, what happened in the draft and all that stuff going on. But tomorrow, don't miss On Time Sports Draft Show. They're going to have tomorrow. I'm not sure if me and Derrick will make it. I don't think Derrick will. I'm not sure if I can. But don't miss that tomorrow. And then, guys, appreciate all the love and support. Keep on the lookout for everything. We continue to post. We're on Instagram now. So if you don't follow us, please go follow us on Instagram. And with that being said, Derrick, you have anything else?
Nope. I'm looking forward to Friday.
Looking forward to Friday. Everyone draft us tomorrow. Hope your teams do what you want them to do, and we'll definitely be talking about it. So keep on the lookout for that. And we'll see y'all on Friday.
All right, man. Later, buddy.
Later, man.